There we go. I do believe we are live again. So say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another Conscious Evolution. It is a pleasure having you here. Truly. Today's stream topic has been about, we did a vertical one just now, the stimulus and the response. Something that Jovan has been bringing into my mind. And it's this reminder, this call to awareness of our power, our ability to evolve lies between the stimulus and the response. All right? That's where change really can occur. We have this ability as human beings to transform not only ourselves, but the way we think about the world, the way the world thinks about us, the way we think about how things are supposed to be in our own minds. There is a lot of control in our hands right now when it comes to what we're capable of. The stimulus definitely has increased because we have access to the internet, and within that, have access to the stimulus of the entire world. But our response has also become more immediate, globally reaching, and informed, I want to say as well, than it's ever been. We are definitely in a very unique position as people these days. The stimulus is boxes, 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 boxes everywhere in our tiny ass home. And the response is, I do not want to fucking do any more packing. Hey, Max. Hey, hey, Melita. Meow, meow. To you too. You've probably heard this, but when I hear it, a part of me does think about you, where it's like the Billie Eilish song that goes meow 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 meow, and it's like meow 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 to you too. Sam, when do you move in? And hey Mel, hey Joe, it's nice having you. Do let us know. Do let us know, Sam. I mean, the fact that you're packing means that it's probably not that far away. The stimulus is also this house wants us out. And the response is same, yo. I do get that. I do get that. I've also been feeling like that here a little bit. I won't lie, Sam. There has definitely been a stimulus of, I want to not be here anymore. And checks out. Checks out. I think I put enough money in the electricity box to have electricity for the rest of the time that I'm here for. And I also think I have enough food in the freezer to have things to eat in the meanwhile. So really, there's no need for me to feel like this person or this person, this place is gonna take from me anymore. Right, like this. There's a conclusion being reached. Maybe there's something to be said about that as well. Right, between the stimulus and the response, a conclusion is reached. Maybe that should be the response, the conclusion. But a conclusion should be reached after a fair bit of consideration. We're moving in 2 weeks, Joe. I'm looking to get rid of some canvases to lighten the load. Yeah, canvases can probably add up real quickly. I have a bunch on me now. I have 5. I have 5 canvases. And I'm not even a like painter. I think some of them, 2 of them were from Maxine. She sent me some. Then I have 2 that Jovan brought me. And then I have 1 my sister gave me. Yeah. And I'm still just getting started. Goodness. Hi all. Hey Nancy. Is response another stimulus? It is to whoever you're responding to. It is to the universe. It is to yourself in that way as well, because you will ultimately ask yourself questions about this response that you had. Right? It will stimulate too. It's a good question. Good question to ask. Good kind of direction to point ourselves in as well for a little bit. You are very right, Nancy. Sounds like time to go. No, just another house in the city I live in. We have no room here. The water heater is out. We can't flush the toilets, and we have to boil water to wash dishes. Monster House wants us gone. Have you recently watched the Monster House movie? I watched that movie as a child when I was supposed to. I watched that movie just in time for it to be terrifying. Goodness. I think really that might be like when I try and like parse in my life when I was the most scared of something. Watching monster movie as like a 9-year-old or 8-year-old kid. That was some real shit. Have you recently watched the Monster House movie? Yeah, like once, and this damn house took it personally. Oh goodness. Whatever you do, don't dig up the floors, is all I'll say. Or call someone else to dig up the floors after you've moved. Is that grim? Probably shouldn't say shit like that. I'm sorry. Yeah. There's a bunch of things to be stimulated by these days. And I think there definitely is a certain solace we take as people these days to choose what we're stimulated by. I sure know I am. And I think it definitely is a trait of my autism, but I don't think it's a like all people that have autism kind of thing, right? Or vice versa. But I do put myself in a loop, right? A trance, if you will, could be another word for it as well. I'm like inspecting the weights and biases in my own psyche for how I feel about that behavior. Hmm. Yes. My mind is trying to cope with, understand by saying balance. It's like, balance. It's like, okay, I get it. Weights and biases. Sometimes things need to be where you think they might not be to bring balance to the system. Maybe I can ask the question. So the stimulus that's arising in my being right now is any amount of escapism good for you? And I'm wondering about the response. The response in me is arising. No, maybe, but it's definitely not like a straight yes. It's between no and a maybe for me. Glad you're going to a better place. Super glad. That's so super soon. Excited for you. If you want, you can throw your extra arts this way. Joe, love is true. Uh, Hi again, Joy. Hi, Jovan. If Sam had a nickel for every time I walked past her paintings and smiled, she'd have a truckload of nickels by now. That is nice. Love is true. Yeah. Yeah. That is in part why I'm not that into books. That is in part why, as a digital creator, I find a lot of freedom in all of my art existing on this. Right. That little thing right there. And I know that's not how it works for pour art, for example. It's like Yamel starts pouring paint over tablet. How about this? How about this? Sam says. Uh, my mind is going down this rabbit hole of like I have. Oh wait, wait. I have wanted to be an artist my entire life, right? Literally my entire life, and I never really knew that about myself. And because I never knew that about myself, uh, it wasn't really that encouraged or valued, in my environments. So I never really, at least in my own mind, had access to all of the materials I would have wanted. And as a result, I never practiced or got as good as I might have if I just could have, right? And that's a bunch of stimulus. That's a bunch of stimulus as like what I started as an artist. And then I kind of happened into the age of technology as well, right? By the time the technology was mature enough for me to start making things, the tools, the materials, if you will, I had access to was different to what the version of me that started drawing when he was 6 years old, would have ever had. So, my response has definitely been, I would like to believe unique, right? But I'm again feeling that is feeling that is a stimulus in me right now. Like, why is that important? Why is it important? Is it a value add? Is it a capturing interest, fascination? Is it creating value? Is it dumb? Yes, it's pretty dumb. Because again, I feel like it's one of those things where we can get ourselves so caught up in wanting to be unique ourselves that we feel threatened by other people's uniqueness. And that happens, I feel, more so to people who try than people who just are. So that's what I'm like at right now for my stimulus is how much more should I try, right? And this is not me talking about like a certain giving up on what it is we're doing, but it is an asking of almost like timelines, really, right? Because the thing with stimulus as well is that it garners an instant reaction. It wants you to respond right now. And I realize more and more about myself that I thrive in taking my time to do things, right? Things do evolve, whether I want them to or not. I do want them to, right? But that's kind of the way the wheel turns. Like that's kind of how it goes, right? I am on this planet alongside this progress that's happening right now. Stimulus, you're not doing enough. Response, all I have to do is breathe right now. And there's some balance. Some balance in between will be found. Slowly but surely, I'm sure. I have one set aside for you, Jovan. Nice. Love is true. Aw, joy. I think about that one all the time. I'm so pleased. It has a home where someone loves it every day. I love it so damn much. It is one of my treasured possessions. This is true. The fact that things can be assigned significance to, I feel, is again one of those stimulus and response kind of things. The example that's coming up in my mind is two scenarios where one mother is very stressed and has a lot on her mind and sees the pile full of dishes and has work to do or whatever, right? And another mother that is into scrapbooking and, you know, spends a lot of her time documenting and keeping these, you know, special things around. And then a little girl or a little boy brings the mother a flower. And one mother, the busy mother, might, you know, see it and say thank you, maybe put it in her ear and go on with her work. And the other mother might press it, right, into one of her scrapbooking little collages of gifts from the children. Right, and in that way, the stimulus was the same, technically, right? The stimulus of your child giving you a little flower. But the response was different. And what was happening before, we were talking about what was happening in between a lot today, but what was happening before did play a role as well in that way, right? That is definitely something to consider when it comes to where it is we're going, because we did experience a lot before, right? We're experiencing a lot right now, but we've experienced a lot before as well. And we should give ourselves some leeway. I think that's the lesson that is arising in me. We should give ourselves some leeway in remembering that it's okay to not always be perfect. All right. It's okay to not always be that super mom who scrapbooks every little flower that their children bring them. All right. It's not realistic always. But love is true. I feel like there is such a sweet spot between the stimulus and response. There's definitely a point where it feels like it's been too long to respond. Then I get stuck thinking about it. Yeah. Trying to think about, I don't know where I heard it, but someone talking about, you ever feel like something you want to say is so important? So you think about what the best way is to say it. And then you keep, you know, waiting, and it's still just as important, and you never really find the words. And the more time that goes by, the more you think about it, the bigger of a deal it becomes. So yeah, very normal as well, Jean. Very normal. Every single time you find yourself stuck, remember that you are always here right now. And when it comes to what is important, that is. And if it comes to you thinking other people are important, what they should find most important is that you are. And that you want to talk to them at all, right? If it comes to the nature of saying something, responding. Doesn't matter when, That's not the stimulus they should be paying attention to. It matters if, right? Because that's a more important stimulus. It really is. And I know it can definitely influence us. The when. I'm sometimes a painfully patient person. Painful to my ego. Uh, but in that way as well, there's a certain, I feel almost like leniency. I am allowed. Like people rarely hate me for taking a while to reply to a message, for example. Oh, that's true. I'm very normal. Sounds like a very normal person thing to say. So, what's up, normal person? How's this normal we're having today? No, I think that situation dependent. Mm, yeah, that is probably right. Some experiences do definitely garner different responses. Do you think no response is a response? I do. I did say that a little bit earlier in stream, but I do believe saying nothing or no response is a response. I responded by saying nothing today. And that says a lot in the context that I said nothing in. You know? You know what I'm saying? No? The cliff notes are sometimes in a group chat, people can assume things. Right? And I'm not going to give any cues. At least I hope I'm not. But they can assume things. Or they can experience a stimulus that makes them come to the conclusion of, even though that conclusion might be wrong. And in the coming to that incorrect conclusion, they might end up saying a bunch of things. They might end up projecting anger or sadness or disappointment or helplessness onto that situation. And that can sometimes be hurtful and downright absurd. And in those situations, at least for me, it seems, the best response that I could give is saying nothing. And I don't know if that helps. I really don't. But it did help me. It did help me feel. Because I knew if I was going to start saying things, that would not be helpful. Right? So the best thing I could have said is nothing. And that is definitely something to think about. Mel did the eyebrow thing. I don't know what eyebrow thing you're talking about. Like clearly it's some sort of rare find. I don't know what eyebrow thing you're talking about. Trips me up. Oh well, indeed, friend. I find you friends all well. I'm well. You well? My name's actually Mel, but you know, you can call me whatever you want. What? Oh yes, your name's Will. Oh, it's well, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, yes. Yes. Being a person. How fun. How novel. Who thought this was a good idea? Clearly, all of us. The fact that our parents just like had kids, you know, the audacity. Oh, goodness. But that really is absurd to me sometimes. I think about that. Where I'm like, they really did that, didn't they? They were like, oh, wait. Oh, now there's you. Oh, wait. Oh, what the hell? suddenly I have eyes and I'm living on planet Earth as myself. That is so wild. And now I'm given the choice, right? Technically, whether or not I'll do the same. Well, you found me. Love you, Shaw. Well, you found me. You've been found. You did mention getting stuck, so I'm happy to have found you. So, well, life. Who thought this was a good idea? uh, it is kind of absurd like that, isn't it, JV? Like it's a lot. It's a lot. Oh my goodness! Like just thinking about it, my mind is like, how about that? And I want to make this also very clear. I do not think having kids is bad or wrong or deplorable, right? Like I hope that's very, very clear. For me, it's just how wild it is, right? Again, thinking about this stimulus and response dynamic, right? That there can be a stimulus of wanting to have kids, and then the response can literally be the existence of a whole new entity. All right? Because we were talking about stimulus and response today, and the fact that some stimulus to response ratios goes from I feel a certain way to now a human being exists on planet Earth. That is bonkers. That's so wild. Woo! I am finding mushrooms this week. Do I identify them correctly? That does sound fun. It does sound like a lot of fun. Get the free trial, and then we are forced to keep paying for the full version, even though the full version is shit. And every one of those heartless developers. Did I miss something? Maybe I need to switch to all messages. No, 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 no. Found me. Good idea. Oh, the life. You got the free trial being a child, and then you were forced to keep paying for the full version, even though the full version is shit. And every one of those heartless developers. I mean, I don't think the full version is shit. I think the fact that we have to pay for it is kind of like what makes the full version shit, right? Which is again stimulus and response kind of thing. The stimulus is we have to pay to keep living, and the response is I hate living. When you don't hate living, you hate to have to pay to keep living. That's what you hate, right? Which is understandable, very understandable. And it's not the developers that is at fault in that way. It's human greed. Then they spend your entire childhood beating you and demanding you be grateful for being born and also to feel guilty for all they had to sacrifice for your having been bornness, right? For being born, and all they have given you conveniently leaving out the fact that they go to jail if they didn't take care of their children. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's actually, big deal having children and you have legal obligations take care of their children. Yeah, that's not a response. Melt, what are you saying about children? I wasn't really talking about children directly necessarily. Uh, I was a child at one point. Please stop bullshitting yourself. Seems like I don't like that's what I'm trying to understand, Like I wasn't trying to bullshit myself. Bruh. Bruh. my mind will stop the bullshit completely. Because I don't bullshit myself, right? And if all of us are one, then there's only one way to stop bullshitting with oneself. I don't think the full version is shit. The full version comes with taxes and hangnails. Yeah, again, there are many people on planet Earth right now that don't pay taxes. I don't know what hangnails are. Like you hit a nail into a wall and then you hang something on it. Also, don't think that shit. I don't think it's ideal, but again, it's kind of like a means to an end. Ideally, you're hanging something on that hangnail, all right, like a piece of art, which makes your room more beautiful. Again, right? Like I feel like the problem is not life itself. Life is, in fact, very nice, very enjoyable experience to have. It's the gatekeeping that we don't appreciate. In its simplicity, though, we don't have to pay for it. We just have to gather food and try to stay warm. Yes, Bojo. That's what I was trying to say as well, as like many people don't pay taxes. Right? I don't know what the hangnails attachment was, but like there are many people on planet Earth that are living their whole lives without coming close to a governmental system, basically. That simple hunter-gatherer life is gone. It's not, Sam. If you liquidate all of your assets, and you buy yourself a plane ticket into the middle of, some sort of rainforest, you can technically do something like that. It will not be comfortable. You will forego literally every life luxury you have gotten used to. But it is possible. It's not gone. There are people living like that right now on planet Earth. I don't know what hangnails are. Damn foreigners. Yeah. Us damn foreigners not knowing what hangnails are, of course. Because hangnails has played such a big role in my life that I've spent the last 26 years never coming across the concept, maybe the foreigners know what's going on actually. No, stay warm. It's true. We live in a society. You pay to live here. It is what it is. And again, that's not a bad thing. It's kind of nice. It's actually kind of nice, right? Again, living in the times where we were fending for ourselves against creatures of the night wasn't kind of nice. Very not kind of nice. So, yeah, living in a society is good. Simple hundred never life. That's the lie they want you to believe. There is a big world out there that is mostly unburdened by Western views of success. Yep. This is a truth. You're speaking, Pojo. Property ownership did quite a number on our brains. Golly, our poor species. Comfort and luxury are what we pay for. Life doesn't get bought by gold. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Comfort and luxury. Like my mind is going down the rabbit hole of, all of the versions of me that are homeless and living off of all of the expired goods that grocery chains and the like literally put in their dumpsters. There's so much food going to waste. Hey Google, how many metric tons of food go to waste in America alone every year? Oh my goodness. I thought it was going to be in the millions. That's why I asked tons. Okay, it is in the millions. Okay, good. I saw the pounds number and it melted my brain. But the world wastes 2.5 billion tons, and America wastes 60 million tons. My mind is trying to think about how that can be represented. 2.5 billion tons a year. The average car weighs about 2 tons. So 1.2 billion cars worth of volume in food goes to waste every year. Like, and I'm no mathematician, but surely that's enough food. You see, but that should be enough food to feed literally the freaking planet, shouldn't it? At least feed all. Yeah, here's a ton. I wonder how much food a person eats. Hey Google, how much food does a person eat in a day? 1 to 1.5 kilograms of food. So it would take me 1,000 to 700 days to eat 1 ton, right? And there are 2.5 billion tons going to waste. There are like 8 billion people. So we're literally basically wasting the amount of food it would take to feed all of the people on the planet. If all of us were eating a little bit less as well, right? That's so fucking crazy. And yet at the same time, you know, there are people starving. There are people that cannot afford to eat good food, to eat nutritious food. Thinking about this concept that Bojo now introduced into our minds, the stimulus, if you will, of life shouldn't be something you have to pay for. You should pay for luxury and comfort, right? In that way, if we're wasting 2.5 billion tons of food a year, and that's waste, right? That's the waste. Then it should be relatively easy for us to make life something that doesn't have to be bought by gold. It's not an all-around great view of how to succeed, but a minimalistic and simplified view of what we truly need is a great way to remain grateful for what we have. True. Joe, changing the subject, momentarily changing the subject. Are there pythons where you live? Is a reminder of the pursuit. Yeah, big snakes here, of course. I think some kid probably like released their python pets, right? And that's why you have a python problem. There were so much less food waste if fast food places would donate their leftover food instead of trashing it. My first job as a kid was at McDonald's. We had to dispose of food outside in the dumpsters, I'm guessing. Outside in located trash bins. We couldn't give it away or donate it because once upon a time, bad actors sued McDonald's claiming to have gotten sick. Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if it was McDonald's suing themselves. So they have like some legal grounds to stand on. I'm so like freaking suspect of these people these days. I don't trust them for a second. All right, it is time. It's time for us to pull a card. It's time for us to see what's sacred. No, this is not sacred geometry. I haven't pulled the sacred geometry card in a while. You want to? You should? We should. I'm gonna go and get my other deck. Joy babe, I thought in California restaurants, grocery stores have to donate leftover food. Have you heard that? I could totally be mistaken, though. I hope not. That sounds like something good to be right about. I'm back in a second, friends. I return to you now with a sacred geometry deck. Project with your mind what you think the card is going to be. You can even think what color you'll think it's going to be, because with these decks, that's a little bit more doable. This card. Yeah, I could feel it. This is the one. Right side up as well. Of course, I pull the Spiritkin. Spiritkin. No, people were constantly threatening to sue us, just as minimum wage workers. I have so many stories to tell. No one has to donate anything ever, Nan. That's not a law anywhere. Joy V, the amount of decent food that gets trashed is crazy, right? Hugs and shiny fruit to everyone. I have to go put my boots on and act like a carpenter for a bit. My Spiritkin brother. Good luck, bro. You got this. Same joy. I worked a lot of banquets. Same thing. We can't share the leftovers because we could get sued. Feeding our Spiritkin. 39. Courage and transformation. This shaman dances and drums around a fire and has called in the energy of his Spiritkin. Mountain lion, also called puma or cougar, speaks of strength, courage, and transformation. Golden spirals kindle this fiery energy. We here call upon the magnificent Spiritkin to demonstrate the gift of courage. Courage enters your life in many different ways. It is fearlessly standing up for what you believe to be true. Courage is being confident in your discernment and ability to speak from your heart. It is trusting that the universe is on your side, guiding and protecting you. Courage is the strength that comes from within. It is being who you truly are without fear or judgment of yourself or others. It is speaking out when you believe strongly for or against something. It is the power to transform fear into love and to bravely follow your own visionary path. Courage is transformational. Transformation is courageous. Trust your ability to call in the transformation that your vision requires. Find the courage within yourself to express your gifts and have confidence in knowing you can make a real difference in the world. Stimulus and response, right? The stimulus is, oh, this world is kind of messed up. The response is, do something about it. Make it a little bit less messed up. Transform it. Courageously step forward and transform it. Oh, no. Build that thing, Judger. Yeah, build that thing. The amount of calls fielded from people claiming to have gotten sick from food and demanding extra food in return was insane. People are crazy and will do anything for a free burger or some nuggets. Yeah. They should go to China for a little bit. Or India, and then they should try that there. Then they'll get actually sick violently and they'll also not get refunded. Oh, hey, a goodbye message. Thank you. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that. I also saw your um, formula that you can give a language model to generate a goodbye message too. Thank you for sending that to the community. Senate Bill 1383 first went into effect in 2022, requiring certain businesses such as grocery stores to donate unused food to food recovery organizations. Huzzah! There you go. So some people are being told, are being required by law or a Senate a bill by bill. Is a bill a law? By bill to donate them foods. There were paint cans out back once that caused the joint that was getting painted, and some guy in the drive-thru told me he was going to sue us because they might explode in the sun. Okay. Do you know how big a paint can explosion is? All right, it's like a bop. It's like a bap. You sure you don't want to be too close to it? You don't want to have your face right up against the thing when it explodes. But ultimately, it's still gonna be that big of a deal. I'll sue you. I'll sue you if this thing might explode. They might explode in the sun. I love these kind of current events. Yeah, getting to be here with you, friends. It is cool, right? Yeah, very cool. I'm telling you, I got stories for days. Yeah, customer service. You were powerful, Joy, godlike in power. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me today, for allowing this to be a part of the stimulus that you're going to get from the world. That's a big deal. I hope your response is loving the world more because of it. And I hope you have the mostest dazzling day, everyone. I wholeheartedly love you all so miraculously, ineffably, radiantly and resplendently, ardently and whimsically, vivaciously and enchantingly, jubilantly, luminously melt. And all of you, oh so altruistic and tender-hearted, effervescent and steadfast, noble and kindred and serene and gentle-spirited and harmonious friends who explore the space between the stimulus and the response. Thank you, friends, for joining me. I have a few more messages. The thing is, I just have one more message from Nancy. The thing is, giving people the food that made them sick again would be negligent. The thing is, giving people the food that made them sick again would be negligent. Yeah, it's like, yeah, bro, you got sick from eating, like, maybe like we can like do a little bit of a role play experiment, right? It's like, prr, prr, you are the McDonald's worker. Prr, prr, you answer phone. Uh, I feel very sick right now, and I like ordered food from your place. It's like, yes, can you give us your order number, sir? You hear rustling in the background, them grabbing their receipt. They start reading out the number for their receipts. Like, yes, sir. It says here you ordered 17 Big Macs. Yeah? Did you finish them? Yeah? It's like, yes, sir. That is the problem. And when you eat 17 Big Macs, you're supposed to feel sick. This is the body telling you you are killing thyself. The correct response would not be sending you more Big Mac burgers, sir. We need to send you an ambulance. Okay, role play over. Done. Also, nonsense lies that wouldn't be entertained, man. I got raging diarrhea and throwing up from the Big Mac, so I'm calling and demanding a free Big Mac meal. Oh, yes. That checks out. The thing that assaulted your innards is now the only thing you want more of. That does check out. Usually, when I get violently ill from eating something from a place, I just never go there ever again. Ever, ever, never, ever, ever, never. Going there and wanting more. Yes, one more violent diarrhea and throwing up, please. It sounds like some sort of SpongeBob episode we're going through right now. Give me one of those things and the bomb the force. Yes. Did me and Joe Budden do the exact same joke? I think we did. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. All right. That was awesome. That was like such a quick hiatus after the goodbye message. I love you, friends. Like a lot. It's so fun being ridiculous with you. Let me see. Maybe another message will drop. I can feel tippy tappies. My tippy tappy senses are tingling. I can tippy tappy this one. Yeah, look at that. Oh, yes. Thank you, friends, for being here for this moment. I'll see you again soon. If your message comes through just as I hit the button, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll give it like one more second. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I love you, friends. Thank you for joining me again, for absorbing the stimulus. Now, go and respond. Message was sent already. I think so. Love is true. I'll be here again. Up above, the thing giving people would be negligent. I did read that one. And I did read the nonsense lies one. That one we were making jokes about. Uh free nuggets. More love. More love. Yeah, boom. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Goodbye, friends.